Right, good morning ladies and gentlemen, this is Antony Carpen here walking down Neville Road on my way to the polling station with Puffles the Dragon Fairy here. It is European Union referendum day and we're off to the polls. So where did this whole thing come from? How did we end up having a referendum on the European Union? Well, if you remember a couple of years ago, the Conservative Party and David Cameron took fright from UKIP, and as a result they decided, or rather Cameron decided, to promise an in-out EU referendum as a means of, certainly in the short term, trying to basically pull the rug from under the carpet of Nigel Farage and UKIP. And unfortunately for him, all that happened was Farage and the right wing of the Conservative Party banked that promise and demanded more. So fast forward to the general election and you have that promise in the manifesto, one which the Conservatives hoped they would be able to drop in coalition negotiations. But because, in part, they targeted, or the Conservatives targeted, Lib Dem seats and Lib Dem ministers, their coalition partners, they ended up with a small majority at the expense of the Liberal Democrats, which meant that the promise for an EU referendum was one amongst several others, which were otherwise negotiating pieces, they had to deliver on. And so, crikey, my arm is hurting holding this camcorder up. And so we find ourselves in the position that we're in today. Now for me, as I said in my video, I'm voting Remain, but not Remain in terms of Cameron's deal, not in terms of Remain for the status quo. I am voting Remain, staying in, for the overhaul, because that is what the European Union needs. It needs to significantly strengthen the powers of the European Parliament versus the European Commission and also multinational corporations, I might say, as well as reducing its micromanagement at national and local levels. And also because the problems of our world are global. The challenges we face today cross international borders. Therefore our response has to be international. And that's why I'm voting in. See you on the other side.